Hello everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. It has been a very long time, and as you can see, I've got a whole new setting. I don't focus on these little grains right here. I don't know what that is. I don't know. It's probably something on my carpet or something. I don't know what's going on down there. Ants, maybe. I've got an ant infestation. This is definitely my room. Very static window and stuff like that. But welcome back to another YouTube video. I am your host, Crypto Lewis, and it's been a long time. It's been a while again since I've put up another video, but things are starting to look up again, and I just wanted to comment on it and just give a little bit of my input about everything that's going on. I said it wasn't going to be that long till I put up another video. If the market is boring, what is there for me to talk about, really? I could just continue to give the same help and the same information that I've been giving out throughout this whole time, which is dollar cost average into either one Bitcoin or Ethereum at the moment, every week, every month, doesn't matter. Be putting in like a recurring buy for each of these coins, right? A big coin that has a lot of stability, doesn't have much volatility, and that you can trust in for the long term, right? That's what you want to be your biggest holding out of your whole portfolio. You want your biggest holding to be either one of these two coins, Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? Then you can diversify as much as you want below that. But today, I wanted to start off first with basically, I think, just review of the dollar cost averaging portfolio. So let's get into that. So if you remember, this is our dollar cost averaging portfolio. Every week I've been putting in $100 into every Tuesday, $100 into Ethereum, right? And just to see how it would end up in maybe a few months, right? The completion of this experiment is still not done, but just to see how far we are into it. And guess what, guys? We are at a profit right now. We are at $182 profit. For dollar cost averaging since every Tuesday since December 7th. When I first gave the information and basically the advice, which it's just the way I've been doing it. There's not the way that everybody could be doing it. Everybody could be doing it differently. But this has been done by many people. This is like the number one way to invest, I believe, for the long term. People do it on stocks. People do it in the crypto market. And it works very well, right? So investing into Ethereum, $100 every week, and see where that leads, right? We started since the dip started happening, since 42.87, basically since I gave that advice, right? Started there, and we can see that the price points have been going down as we have continued to buy, and they've all led up to this point, right? And right now we are at a profit. We continue to be at a profit since we started buying, and we started buying since December, $100 when it was at $4,200. So how are we at a profit right now at past 3,100, right? It's because of the dollar cost averaging method. This doesn't fail, guys. This in the long term is the best way that I believe to invest. Now let's look at the not dollar cost averaging, the one that goes off of pure emotion, right? And if I'm being honest, I think I'm being way too generous with the not dollar cost averaging account, because if you were going off of emotion, I think you probably would have sold already. Genuinely. Like, there's no way that you would be holding this since the beginning. Like, there's just no way. Like, right here, I think after this dip right here, and then it kept on dipping, I would have been like, out of here. I wouldn't have waited for this if this were based off of emotion, right? Me personally, I always hold, especially on projects that I believe in, right? So for this, if this were going off an emotional person, the way that I see it on Twitter, people selling at a 50% loss, stuff like that, I'm pretty sure that somebody who goes off based off of emotion would have sold around here or here. They wouldn't have bought. When they saw things coming back up, they would have bought, right? But I'm being way too generous with these type of people. So, guess what? Still at a loss. The people that are going off of emotions are still at a loss. Imagine. They've put in $3,000 deposits over the last, since October, right? Since everything started going up, and since people started going crazy that Ethereum is going to make it to $10,000 and Bitcoin is going to make it to $100,000, right? Everybody started going crazy. Since then, we've been putting into $1,000 deposit into Ethereum whenever we see the price going up, because that's how emotion works, right? That's how everybody invests off of emotion. They invest when things are going up, right? So now I would probably see them investing again, but I don't think they would have had this at this point. After all the dips, 50% drops, there's no way. There's no way that I'm being way too generous with this guy. With this guy right here, I'm being way too generous. But guess what? Still at a 3% loss. And with the dollar cost averaging method, 10% gain. 10% gain. That's a 13% difference right there. So that tells you a lot about just how well one method works over the other. Don't be an emotional person. Just don't. It'll make you lose. That's how you lose in the market. I'm 100% sure they probably would have sold everything right here. 2,100, and then they would be down what? $1,000? $1,000 they'd be down. 33%. That's what an emotional person would do, right? But non-emotional person would be winning right now, and by a lot. 10%, almost 11%. So that's the dollar cost averaging review, right? Now let's look at the best long-term coins that I see that would most likely just do very well, right? This is, in my opinion, long-term projects that you can't go wrong with, right? Obviously, starting with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, the star of the show, the leader of the pack, right? Obviously, Bitcoin you just can't go wrong with. You won't be making the gains that you'd be making anywhere else, right? But Bitcoin is like the S&P 500. Very consistent, growing index fund, because the Bitcoin is kind of like the overall market, right? So Bitcoin, head of the pack, is the one that's going to be growing over time. And if it gets up to what people believe would be $1 million, that's a good amount of money that you've been able to multiply, right? By the time that it does, of course. So then Ethereum, I wouldn't say that every top 100 coin is a good long-term investment, because they're not. I don't think so. I'd say Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, because there's a lot of smart contract coins, very small cap coins, which people are going to get into over time, and with, you know, the evolution of play to earn, crypto gaming, and whatnot, BNB is going to be getting a lot of money flooded into just to buy those type of coins. So definitely one I see growing very, very far. Next one up, Solana. Solana obviously had a very nice peak in the last bull run, and I see it going past that and more. There's a lot of projects being built on Solana. You can't go wrong with that. What else? There's Terra. Terra, of course. Terra Luna has been... it doesn't even look like they've had a bear market, right? It literally doesn't look like a bear market. What was this? From $100 to $50. Obviously, a 50% fall like the whole market had, right? But it's been consistent growth. If you bought down here, if you're not the emotional person and buy at the top, then you wouldn't have bought there, right? You would have bought right here before everything started going up. And then when it dipped, you would have still been at a profit. Literally consistent support all the way through, and it's just been going up. There's no other way to explain it. It's just been going up. So one that I see in the long term, huge, right? Phantom, another coin that I've seen since it was at 25 cents. And now it's at $1.60, if I remember correctly. We'll get to there again because It's like a little bit lower, right? Phantom, right here, 157. About to hit 160. Very consistently growing coin as well. Goes very high. It has a peak of $3. Huge. I saw it down here. I invested very shortly just to get a little quick gain. And then right after, of course, like it always happens, that just huge surge up, right? Phantom, Solana, like I mentioned, Chronos. Chronos has been, I think, one of the craziest just projects ever. You know, it's obviously the Crypto.com native currency, which is an exchange. And it's just been crazy to see what they continue to do with their project, with their sponsors, what they're sponsoring actually. It's just insane, right? Like it doesn't make any sense, but it's a insanely fastly growing company, and there's just so much to talk about, right? Like you got Matt Damon in the front of your page, one of the world's most popular, most famous actors. Then when we talk about their partners, their sponsors, they're partnered with UFC, Formula One, the Philadelphia 76ers, hockey teams, cars, all of this stuff. Like it's just, you don't see that from any other project, right? And then they have the Crypto.com arena, which is the Lakers arena, right? The Lakers Stadium is now no longer called the Staples Center. It's called the Crypto.com arena. This is insane, right? The most popular stadium in basketball is now called after this company, this crypto company, as well as I just saw there, Paris Saint-Germain is also sponsored by Crypto.com. So it's all these, and it's crazy. And now, recently, news, they are now sponsoring, the official sponsor of the World Cup in Qatar. That left me mind blown. That's the most watched, most popular sports event in the whole world. The whole world is going to know about Crypto.com. And so that just gives me a lot of hope for Chronos, of course, in the long term, because they'll continue to most likely sponsor a bunch of big events, a bunch of big companies, and that's just a few of the things left to come. Another one, Harmony, one that I've been looking at for a very long time as well, and I've invested into it, and I made really good money off of it as well. Harmony is just one of those projects that is very undervalued all the time, but I think a lot of people are starting to see it, and during these bear markets, it kind of hides back into its own little cave, and then when things are starting to get spicy and just a lot of heat in the market, Harmony comes back up, and it goes crazy again as usual. So one very long-term project that I like a lot. Another one, the Sandbox. I mean, Sandbox gained so much popularity out of nowhere, right? It just went crazy since it started going up, and you clearly see it right there. It just went from 80 cents to what, $8? I think $8.40 in a month. Insane. Another company, another project that has a ton of sponsors, who sponsored, has partnered up with Snoop Dogg, with The Walking Dead, with so many different things, and they're just building the metaverse, which is something that everybody wants to see, something that everybody wants to be a part of. This is the future, and so therefore a lot of people, a lot of famous people, a lot of celebrities, a lot of very big companies are going to continue to partner up with a company such as the Sandbox. Another one, Polkadot. Polkadot, I think, throughout this whole bear market, throughout this whole market, Polkadot has been one of like the strongest ecosystems, because not only is it a strong coin itself, but I think it's a strong ecosystem. There's a ton of coins, a lot of projects under Polkadot which do very, very well, especially in the last bull market that we had, right? The last bull moment that we had, Polkadot projects were on fire, and they continue to be, and they continue to show that heat still, even during this little time that we've been going up. So Polkadot and the Polkadot ecosystem, one to look at, but Polkadot specifically, I see it as a long-term hold. Then Avalanche, another very strong ecosystem coin that has a lot of coins behind it and a lot of projects that are under Avalanche, and they're doing very well, and they consistently do very well. I see it as a very long-term hold. And lastly, Polygon. Polygon is still, I think, very, very early in what they're trying to build. And they're trying to build in pretty much everything when it comes to gaming, when it comes to services, just making it easier, right? The easier, more efficient, more cheap, right, way of doing transactions, of doing gaming, of doing anything, right? Polygon is working on that, and they're very early, and they're in a very early stage in what they're trying to accomplish. Therefore, I see it going up long term quite a lot. Now, those are my long-term coins. Now, what are the coins that I'm looking at during this moment of, this very up moment that we're having, this bullish moment that we're having? What are the coins that I'm looking at to make quick gains, right? These would have to be the smaller coins, because when you look at coins like these, you can't expect them to go up 20% in a day or in a week, right? You probably expect them to go 20% up or down in like a month. But there are coins that have the possibility of going up 20% or down 20% in a few hours. So which are those coins? Which are the ones that I'm looking at? And which are the ones that I'm going to hold very quickly, because these are very short-term gains? I'm going to get the profit that I can and sell out of it as soon as possible. But for that, you got to be quick, and for that, you got to not time the market, but just review the market, analyze the market, and make sure that what you're doing is good enough, and that you have to be very precise and research a lot into projects that you want to invest in for the short term. Because, like I said, these microcap coins, the same way that they can go up really quickly, they can go down really quickly. If one thing goes wrong, it's over for them. So you really want to do your research. You really want to make sure that these are credible projects. Anybody can create a coin. Remember that. It's the easiest thing to create a coin. So what do you want to do? You want to make sure that the project that you are looking into, the coin that you are looking into, is what they are promising, that they're trying to do what they are promising, and that they are credible enough. And it's very hard to find credible projects in a very small market cap, right? When you look into small market cap coins, you're going to find risky things. You're going to find projects that are probably not even real. They're promising these things that they can't accomplish. So I'm just going to give my opinion on the projects that I believe are credible enough and can do very well, right, in the short term, not a long-term thing. If there are long-term projects, they'd have to grow to a certain point for me to believe them as long-term projects. So let's just get into my watch list. And these are just a few of them. I don't have every one of them, but these are a few of them that I believe are going to be very good short-term projects. Ethereum, definitely not one of them. Phantom, either. These are just like my favorite long-term holds, most volatile ones that I think, as well as Terra is another very good volatile one. But these right here are my short-term coins. Right, these are the ones that I think can give me very quick gains in a short amount of time. So first we have Immutable X. Not the smallest market cap, but it's decent enough, and I think it can grow so much more from where it is right now, because it is a ZK rollup, which just makes it so much easier and cheaper to do transactions on the Ethereum smart chain. Believe it or not, you don't have to pay fees, 0 fees, to make transactions within Immutable X. So NFTs that are sold through Immutable X, anything that is done under Immutable X, completely gas fee. No gas fees from Ethereum when you do transactions through Immutable X. So that makes it so much easier. Illuvium, a gaming project which has done very well. They're one of the most, I think, one of the highest and fastest producing gaming projects, in my opinion, and they're doing very well. And they continue to do very well. They have a very nice market cap as well. Not too volatile, but volatile enough to make you pretty good. Nice 5x gains in maybe the next few months if everything keeps on going the way it's looking. High Street. I've seen it, and it looks kind of like a Sims sort of looking game. It's a game that they're producing, right? And it looks pretty nice. It looks pretty clean. Obviously, one that is still at the start of their project, but they have come a long way from where they've started, and it's looking really nice. They're doing real estate in their game, and it's looking really good. D-Race, a horse race gambling game. A lot of people are into gambling. A lot of people are into horse racing. So I would see a lot of people getting into this project in the short term. And just in the last 7 days, they've gone up a 30%, which is the highest out of the coins. Well, besides LOC game, which I will get to. Besides LOC game, the highest moving coin out of all of them. So definitely something to look into. Virtue Poker has had a very nice move. You'd probably be like, it's down 1.32% for the week. Why would you say it's a good coin? It's had a really good movement, really. I mean, it's literally kind of going sideways right now at the moment, but I wouldn't say it's bad. It's kind of, just it's been stuck here, but I invested down here at 3.5, so it's not really. I'm still at a gain. I'm still at a pretty nice gain, and I've kept on investing as these dips do happen. So, I was up here, then dropped down here, bought a little bit up here, dropped a bit, probably bought a little bit more, dipping again. And I'm going to continue to buy as the dips keep coming because I am rolling in that money for when it finally does boom. So, pretty excited about that. So that's one. And the lower that I do get here, remember, the riskier it gets because the market caps just keep on going lower and lower and lower. LOC game, one that has a lot of popularity amongst influencers, and so I do see it growing a lot since it has that popularity, as well as it's not a very bad game either. It's pretty good. They do a pretty good job with their updates, and it's pretty. They're working on it constantly, and that's, I think, one of the main things. Polka City, it's been kind of around the same price at which I bought it at. But it has a peak of $2.80, and they're constantly still upgrading their game. And during this very stable time, just flat time, or downtime, you can really say, they've still continued to build on their project. And when you see projects still continuing to build even as the market falls, that tells you that they're credible and that they're actually working on something, and they're not just doing it for the money, right? Then you have Network, which is another project working on the augmented reality and really focusing on the metaverse. I think it's one of the pioneers in that. So definitely one to look at. And for every single one of these coins, I highly advise you to do your own research because I am no expert researcher. I am not the most credible investor ever. So these are just coins that I'm looking at so you can kind of get an idea at what you want to look at. Right? Because there are a ton of more credible projects. These are just a few that I have in mind, a handful out of all the other projects that I believe are going to be doing really good. But when you look at examples like these, you know what to look for on your own. And that way, you won't get scammed really easily. Altura, an NFT marketplace which is going crazy with their partnerships, with the upgrades that they're doing. They're constantly updating their stuff. And it looks really good, and their community is very active, I would say. Moon Nation game, I think it's a very quiet one, not one that has shown a lot. Not that hasn't shown a lot, but still one that hasn't really been looked at. And I'm just kind of like hovering over it. I still haven't made a really crazy investment into it, but they have had a lot of volatility. And I have seen it grow crazy right? I've seen it since 2 cents and it went all the way up to 20 cents. So that's a nice clean 10x from there. So that's not a bad one. I also see it and I'm like, hey, maybe if things start looking more up and they continue to do their thing, they can get somewhere. So that's pretty much all my micro cap holds, and well, not holds, but coins that I'm looking at. And I have a lot of other ones, but I'm not just going to give away every single coin that I own. But that's pretty much it. I want to leave off with these like 2 pointers. Your biggest holding for a very nice, comfortable portfolio, your biggest holding should always be between the 2 largest coins, either Bitcoin or Ethereum. I wouldn't put it into any other altcoin, right? Not even Phantom, not even Terra. Even though they're very nice, very good projects, I still wouldn't put it into them. Just because I like a nice, stable growth throughout my life. And then this should be, these coins, these 2 top coins, should be the coin that you dollar cost average into every week, every 2 weeks, every month, etc. It doesn't matter. All right? These 2 coins, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, these are the coins you want to dollar cost average into every once in a while, every recurring amount of time, whether it be a week or every 2 weeks, whatever you want, whatever you can afford. Never anything that you can afford to lose. Well, never anything that you can't afford to lose. It's dollar cost average every once in a while, but often. A certain amount of money that you can be without for a long time. And then just watch it grow. That's what I've done with my portfolio, with at least between Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've chosen Ethereum to dollar cost average, but that's the one that every week I'm putting in a certain amount of money, the same time, the same day, and just letting it grow. And I've been able to make a lot of profit. Just the same way as this guy right here, which decided to dollar cost average, is making profit. $200 profit. If you want to be like that guy, dollar cost average, and just watch it grow. Don't be like this guy who is very emotional. And once again, I did say I'm being extremely generous with this guy. He is down 2.50%, but I'm being extremely generous with the fact that he still hasn't sold. Because an emotional person would have 100% sold by this time. That's all I have for you guys today. I think it's a good comeback to the very long drought of my videos. 30 minutes, what can I say? And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe this video. I do this because I do want to make more people aware of crypto and just to not go into it blindly. I don't want people to go into this blindly. I want people to understand the risk that there is in crypto, and I want people to understand how they can get through crypto without going through those risky moments, right? Crypto overall is risky. So just kind of learn as much as you can. I think my channel is a good place to learn. There are many other ones who do a better job than me, but I wouldn't say mine is terrible. So I highly advise you guys to watch my previous videos, how to start investing into crypto, how to research, how to do all these things to find what you need to in order to make very nice profitable gains. Thank you very much for watching once again, and just remember to subscribe, like this video, and I'll see y'all in the next video.